So you guys voted, and I'm actually really surprised because I'm not very good at explaining things, but I'll get better, I hope. So I've seen a lot of Stalker Storytimes on YouTube, and I've always waited for somebody to say like the kind of story I'm gonna tell, but no one ever does. You guys are probably thinking, who stalked you and why? But that's not the case. I was a stalker. And I mean, I was always really quiet, and it was always really hard for me to show my emotions. So I've never been stalked before. I was a stalker. Please don't hate me. I'm a better person now, and I was never violent. I might have been creepy, but I was never violent. So, here we go. When I was a freshman in high school, 15, we had a fire drill at my school, and I went outside. I don't know if you guys would do this too, but like fire drills, I would just look for my friends to go throw rocks at them or whatever, and I looked behind me to try to find my friend, and she wasn't there, but I saw the most beautifulest guy ever. Not really, but I thought he was the most prettiest guy I've ever seen, and that's when it all started. I didn't know his name. I've never seen him before, and all it took was just that one look, and I was hooked. I was a predator. I was a creep. So I didn't have any classes with this kid because he was a junior. He was 17. It was very hard for me to see him around. I started telling my friends all about him. I even told my sister, and I didn't know his name, so I made nicknames for him. My sister gave him a girl name, Deborah, because we would always talk about him, and I didn't want my mom and dad to know that I had a crush. Again, I was super embarrassed, to be human. So Deborah stuck, and that's what his name became between us. So I was really into art and writing. Anything arts related I was pretty into. So I would draw him everywhere, and my friend Gina, not her real name, she was the opposite of me. She was outgoing, she was, she liked people, she got along with them. Maybe that's why we clicked so well, but she was getting so like suffocated by the fact that I was just like daydreaming about him all the time. And she would always like try to convince me to go talk to him because I would follow him around. I would follow him. Like, I started seeing, when your classes switch for a semester. The new semester came, my classes switched around, and I saw him a lot more now. We had the same lunch. So I would follow him around, and I would watch him in lunch. I would be behind him, and all that fun stuff. And I would tell my friend all about it. I had a book where I would write everywhere he was at. Oh my god, why? So, I had advisory with Gina, and I left advisory. I would just like be late to advisory because the teacher didn't really care, because I knew that Deborah was waiting for his advisory teacher. He was always late. He was waiting outside of his room for him to get there and unlock it, so he'd just be standing there waiting, and I would go watch him, admire his beauty. So Gina was sick and tired of my weird shit, and while I was minding my own business, stalking him outside of his homeroom, I would leave my homeroom and watch him. And my friend knew that. Like, she's like, oh, there she goes again. So I went up to Gina and I told her, dude, like, come help me watch him. Like, dude, let's go stalk this beautiful boy together. And she was like, no, like, you're weird. And I was like, come on, dude, like, he could be my future husband for all you know. spend some quality time as friends, stalking the love of my life. And she was like, ew, okay. And she went with me, and I thought it was weird that she said okay, and it was. And she grabs my arm, and she, like, pulls me towards him, and we stand right there, and I was so scared. It was like the first time he noticed me, and I couldn't. It was too much for my poor, desperate soul. And she introduced us. She's like, hi, I'm Gina, and this is my friend Angela. What's your name? And he was like, I'm Deborah, not his real name, but he's like, I'm Deborah, what do you guys want? And I was like, damn, he doesn't love me. I'm just kidding. I was like, damn, he really doesn't like us. And she's like, oh, we just want to be friends, like, you look cool. And he was like, oh, okay. And then we left, and I was really embarrassed, but I was also happy that I knew his name. So I was, it was like the best day ever for me, because I never thought I would get that far in a million years. And she was still really frustrated because she knew I was not going to do anything with that information. Like, I was just going to keep living my life following him around. So she decided she'd take this as a challenge to get us together, which I appreciated, but at the time I was very uncomfortable. She came up to me, she's like, dude, I know you like to write. Let's write him a letter, and we'll give it to him. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I wrote him a paragraph, and she wrote him a paragraph too. And we folded it up and tucked it in, like back in the old days before phones. And she told me where's his last hour, because I knew everything about him. And I told her, oh, come here, follow me. I know he takes ceramics last hour. And she went and gave him the letter, and I watched from far away because I was at PUSSY. So that went on for like a week or two, the letters, and she was getting really tired of it. Between these weeks, like the last week of this letter thing, I had my 16th birthday. Not like a birthday party or anything, but I had my 16th birthday, and I got a cell phone as a present, and I was so happy. Cell phone, yay. And Gina, she was like, finally, okay, next letter, we write them. I'm just gonna write our numbers down because I'm so bored of this. She said that, so when it was our turn to write, she just wrote the numbers down and gave it to him, and we stopped, writing letters. So when I got home that day from, the bus or school, I got a message from him, and he said, oh, hey, like, I just wanted to say hi or whatever. And then we started talking. Like, we talked all the time, and then we eventually admitted that we had feelings for each other. Like, we both had a crush on each other. And we decided that we would go out. Not really, though, because it was over messages. Like, we never really, like, held hands or anything. We never talked in person. And he actually told me, like, he knew that I was following him around the whole time. Like, he's like, I saw you, you were not sneaky at all. Like, oh, man, I thought I was doing so good, but whatever, he thought it was cute, so it was not, but he let it slide. So we started dating, and he would try to convince me to we should meet in person and like actually hold hands and act like a couple, but it's very hard for me to like show affection because my family, I was known for not, like, I was sympathetic. I've always been really sympathetic, but I had a hard time showing affection because they put me in a box where it's like, oh, Angela's kind of a robot, being labeled that made me feel like I had to stay in that box. I was told. So it was really hard for me to like hug and all this stuff, even talk to him. So he had a big problem with that, obviously, and he would convince me like, oh, next hour just come and hug me or whatever. I don't even know why he made me do the first move. Like, dude, no. So the bell rang, and I saw him, and he looked at me, and I couldn't do it. I ran away, and that was the last straw for him. So he messaged me and said, dude, what the heck? Are we not a couple? And I was like, I just don't do this stuff. You don't know me. And he was like, oh, well, I can't be with somebody I don't know. And I was like, yeah. And we broke up, and then I cried myself to sleep. And that was basically the last time we really talked a lot. After that, my family moved to like a different house and I went to a different school. And when I messaged him, he wouldn't really reply like he used to. Like, it was just like yes or no answers. Like, he didn't want to keep talking. And it really hurt me because I still thought we belonged together. So my stalking started all over again. And if the following around school was bad, this was really bad. I told my friend that I missed him a lot and I wanted to see him. So she made me a Facebook, and I would wait for that damn green light to, turn on and he was online, and I would be so happy, but it wasn't enough. So I moved to another school and I made a group of friends, and one of them became my best friend, and I told her all about Deborah, and she felt really bad for me. So she would kind of let me vent about him and how he was ignoring me. So I told her, oh my god, his birthday's coming up. And I remember I was into sewing now. I moved on to sewing. I was in a sewing class, and I sewed my first handmade like little doll, and I made it look like him. It's not all. I actually made a little heart with our initials, and I cut a hole in the doll's like chest, and I put the heart in there, and I sewed it closed. So there you go. So I dressed it up like him, and I would send him pictures of this doll. I would carry this doll with me in school. And I wonder why I got bullied. Like, oh my god. I remember this girl, like, wanted to kiss my doll, and I got so offended. She's like, let me kiss him, he's my boyfriend. I was like, no, he's my kid. Like, how dare you? So, his birthday was coming up. And I told my friend that I wanted to get him a present. I was broke. So, I decided I would buy him a coloring book. A coloring book, and I was going to give him the doll. A 19-year-old would want a coloring book and a creepy doll. His #1 fan made for him. His only fan made for him. So, my logic was pretty cool back in the day. And my friend, like, damn, she should have slapped the shit out of me. I swear. But no, she was like, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll take you to go give it to him. And I was like, oh, cool, sweet. And it was like the best day ever, but I was so nervous. So I wrapped up the coloring book and the doll. And I put it in a backpack, and I told my mom, hey, I'm just going to go hang out with my best friend, no big deal. And Mom was, oh, okay, she didn't think it was weird at all. So we went, and my friend convinced her dad to drive us to this kid, like, around the house, and he left us there. And we walked over, and I made her leave the present by his doorstep. And I hid behind a tree, and she pretended to be on the phone across the street. I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and I said, I left you a present, happy birthday. And he was like, oh, okay. Oh man, I thought I was so romantic, but it was so creepy. So he opens the door like slightly, and does, I didn't even get to see him because he was so freaked out. He opens the door slightly, slowly picks it up, and he's bringing it into the house, and I yelled out, oh, it's a bomb! No, just kidding. I didn't yell that, but that would have been so funny. And he grabs the present, and he goes and opens it. That's so creepy. Like, I wanted to see his expression because I thought he'd be so happy, but no, like, it's a good thing I didn't see his expression. He probably would have been like, what the heck is wrong with this girl? So I left, and I remember my brother had football practice around a high school that was right by Deborah's house. So I'm like, oh, I could take this chance and go, stalk him again. Oh my god. So I convinced my sister to come with me because I hate being alone. And we told my mom, oh, we want to watch brother, like, practice football. But we really went off and hid behind that damn tree, and I just waited outside his house. He came out to play with his dog, and I took a picture of it. I took a picture of him with his dog, and I sent it to him. And he told me to F off. he's gonna call the police. So I ran away with my sister. And that stopped me from, going and, sending him pictures of his house and stuff, thank God. But eventually he actually started replying to me, and we started going out for real. Like, it was an actual relationship. Kind of, not really. So, we were together, and I remember I was minding my own business, like doing homework or something, and my brother comes up to me and he's like, hey, how does it feel to be in a relationship with somebody that just chose you because they literally had no one else to pick? And I was like, damn, why are you being an asshole? But then I was like, so true. And it started to really hit me, over time I started to think, you know what, it's so true. The only reason he was with me was because nobody else cared this much. Nobody else stood outside his house and took pictures and did all that romantic shit. Just kidding. But yeah, if it wasn't for me, we would have never been together. And I couldn't get through that, like just knowing that it was all me who did the work. Nowadays, I really like it when somebody tries to be with you. Like, it's so attractive. And I guess that's because I didn't have that, I was gonna live my life with somebody that never met me even halfway, and I stopped having feelings for him when the more I thought about that, and I just realized I couldn't be with someone like that. Like, everything was up to me. It just felt like he was just with me because nobody else was going after him or anything. And so we broke up, and I should have, I really shouldn't have done all that. It was so stupid. I wasn't even good at it. But, yeah, don't be a stalker. I regret it so much. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm a creep. It was a long time ago. I would never do it again. Oh, man, I wish I could go back in the past and just slap myself. Like, he doesn't love you. Like, stop. Why are you doing this? This isn't love. It's madness. Yeah, that's my story. Let me know if you guys have ever been stalked. I can't relate. Or let me know what you guys would have done if you got a creepy doll and a coloring book. Yeah. By the way, everybody who voted for a vlog, it is coming up next. I just didn't know which one to put up first. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys don't think I'm too creepy. But yeah. Bye.